Good afternoon, everyone. Listen, I'm on my lunch break, so I don't have a whole lot of time. And I'm gonna see if I can find a place a little quieter. Man, a lot of noise today. But anyway, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of time. But I wanted to throw this out there. This is information I wish I would have received yesterday, so I could have really delved into it further and researched it further. But I wanted to put it out there because we're so close to the weekend now, being today's Thursday, and I found something out that I can't confirm or verify. And so normally if I can't confirm or verify it, I'm not going to share it, I'm not going to post it, I'm not going to do anything. However, where I heard this from, let's just say in the past, the information I received from this particular, we'll just call it I don't want to use the word source, we'll just call it we'll just say the information that I received in the past from this channel, we'll just put it that way, has been pretty accurate. So I researched a little further and I couldn't find anything on this. And what I'm talking about here is the possibility of a two-state solution where there may have been a backroom deal made, one of those midnight hour things in the back room, in the dark and all that jazz. I don't know. But the reason I bring it up is because what I did find, and I posted on my community page, is that on 9/23 of 21, interesting, 9/23, but anyway, on 9/23 of 21, this loser Democratic Senator Levin or whatever out of Michigan went ahead and introduced a bill to Congress, HR 5344, House Resolution 5344, called the Two-State Solution Act. And it was introduced, but it hasn't gone any further, at least from what I could find. It hasn't gone any further in the process. So what is the importance of this? Well, I've talked about this before several times. It's been a long time though. I think the last time I talked about it was like the Abraham Accords and so forth. But the interesting thing about this whole thing, and why I bring it up, is there's an author by the name of William Koenig, and he wrote a book about 5 years ago now or so. Might have been, even before that. Actually, I think it was before that. But anyway, it's called Eye to Eye: Facing the Consequences, if people want to look into that. Eye to Eye: Facing the Consequences. And you can order it, I've seen it as low as like $5, you might even be able to find it in a library or whatever. But the fascinating thing about this book is that it details with solid physical evidence every time the United States involves itself in Israeli affairs, specifically regarding a two-state solution. But sometimes it's even just disrespecting the leadership. Now, I'm not going to get into the Nicolaitans and the fake Jews and the real Jews and the Rothschild Jews and all the rest of that stuff. I'm talking about the land itself. You don't mess with the land, okay? But again, even the leadership, for an example, okay? When the Monica Lewinsky Bill Clinton scandal broke, just prior to that, about a day or so before that, Netanyahu was at the White House and was treated like garbage, from what I understand. And then a couple days later, or what have you, the scandal breaks, right? Everybody knows what Bill Clinton's been doing in the Oval Office, right? Coincidence? I don't think so. Katrina, okay? Katrina was a know-nothing storm, okay? It was just sitting out there, no big deal. Nobody's even paying attention to it. Then Bush decides that he wants to bulldoze the Jewish settlements on the Gaza Strip and basically make a whole bunch of people homeless. What happens? Katrina becomes a huge storm, as we know, a hurricane that just devastates New Orleans, and then we get hammered with a whole bunch of storms after that in that same year. What was it, 2005, I think? 2004, I think, yeah. Anyway, Tropical Storm Allison, another one. Bush did something else stupid, disrespecting Israel, disrespecting the land. And it goes on and on and on. And in his research, he has found through I mean, decades of every time the United States has involved itself in Israeli affairs, done something to disturb the land, done something to break up God's land, we've paid a severe price. Sometimes it's the politician, the leadership itself, like Trump's brother died shortly after the Abraham Accords were signed. I mean, this is fact. People can look it up. You can research it yourself. There was, oh man, there's a bunch of them. I mean, there's like 13 or so specific incidents, maybe even more than that, you know, where every single time, and you know what? The Lord might be patient on just about everything that we can possibly imagine, including Sodom and Gomorrah being celebrated and thrown in everybody's face this month. He might be incredibly patient with all that. But you know what he's not patient with? When we mess with Israel. He's not patient with that. Because if you look into it, if you research it, usually it takes about 24 to 96 hours, so about 1 to 4 days before we mess with Israel, something bad happens to us. Now, I'm not saying anything did happen. All I'm saying is the report was, and I said I can't confirm or verify because I can't get any more information on it, but the report was that something might have been done. A closed room deal type deal, you know, something might have been done. God knows, the Lord knows. And if it didn't fit into what he likes and that he wants, we could be paying a very severe price. Now we're in hurricane season right now, and right now, you know, there's threats, tornadoes and things of that nature. We've had a lot of bad weather, a lot of bad storms and so forth. But what if we get a development here that we don't expect? Then we'll know. And then I've shared some things in my community page which I find interesting. Not only did I share the House resolution, but a few other things too, and I might share more as the day goes on depending on how much time I have or what have you. But what's interesting to me is I'm getting a lot of reports, a lot of information, a lot of people sending me a lot of different stuff where they're looking at certain time frames and this and that. And I can't ignore it because it's quite a few people and it's all lining up. The timetable is all lining up. And I'm not saying that anything's gonna happen at any particular time or date. I don't do that. I'm not gonna do that. Anybody says that I'm doing that, you're a freaking liar. I'm sick of it. But anyway, you know, and that goes for anybody else, you know, that accuses people falsely about saying, they said that it was gonna happen on this date and time. I don't know of anybody that's saying that it will happen at this date and time. But anyway, people are going to believe whatever they want to believe. That's just the way it is. So anyway, regarding this whole two-state solution and so forth and the timetable, well, there's some things that are lining up. There's some connections being made here, specifically around like the 9th to the 23rd time frame, like a 14-day window, where it's looking like we could have some very serious things go down, very serious. And if there was some backroom deal made and the Lord doesn't like it and he decides that he's going to act on that, get ready, folks, because it doesn't have to be a major disaster or catastrophe. It could be. It could be some, you know, politician being embarrassed where, you know, some scandal breaks or what have you. It could be a lot of different things. But just know that if it's something having to do with our government, something having to do with a black eye on the country, a judgment on the nation, something of that nature, it could simply be, if it happens quickly, because something was done to interfere with Israel, the land itself, Israeli affairs. So I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it's a good possibility. But yeah, I mean, we're celebrating Sodom and Gomorrah this month in this nation. It's sickening. It's disgusting. So it's not going to surprise me if something goes down today, tomorrow, anytime in the very near future. But right now, though, I'm really watching these next few hours, 24 to 96 hours, because if some deal was made and we're not aware of it, well, we're going to be made aware of it very shortly. So I got to go. I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. I just want to throw that stuff out there, and we're going to find out whether the land has been divided or not, or some kind of deal was made, if we get some sudden judgment here real quick. Like I said, historically, the Lord God has not waited any longer than 96 hours to respond when we have messed with his land. He's sovereign, he can do what he wants, but historically, over and over again, at least 13 times is outlined in the book Eye to Eye, and it's been more since that time, since the book has been written. He hasn't waited, folks. He hasn't waited, so be ready, be prepared, especially you live on the coastlines or in Hurricane Alley or anywhere where major storms can affect you at any specific time. Be ready. All right, I gotta go. Bye.